Boom, 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 boom. In the heat of the day, every time you go away, I have to piece my life together. Every time you're away, every time you're away. In the dark of the night, every time I turn the light, I feel that God is not in heaven. In the dark of the night, the dark of the night. I wonder why I live alone here. I wonder why we spend these nights together. Is this the way I'll live my life forever? I wonder why in L.A. To live and die in L.A. I wonder why we waste our lives here when we could run away to paradise. But am I held in some invisible vice and I can't get away? To live and die in L.A. But I can get away. To live and die in L.A. I can get away. To live and die in L.A. Hello, guys. We're not going to live and die in L.A. We're just going to live and we're going to party hard. We'll probably live in Vegas. What? Now, just saying. You know, the thing is, you can actually get away now if you want with Carnival Cruises. Did you know that? You can get away with Carnival Cruises starting on August the 1st. These guys are going to be putting together cruises for people to take off. I think they're going to be sailing out of Cape Canaveral, Fort Lauderdale, and Galveston, I believe. Starting August 1st, you can sail with Carnival Cruises, who, by the way, owns Princess Cruises. And if you remember the disaster Princess back earlier this year, I wonder what they're going to be charging for those cruises. I wonder. Because you're going to have to really, really butter people up to get them to take a chance to go on that cruise. Unless people are going to start cruising with full body suits. If they're going to be going with like these full nuclear, biological, chemical suits, or you know the decontamination suits with the mask and stuff, and kind of walk around. Luke, I'll meet you at the Lido deck. I mean, honestly, who is going to take that cruise right now? Who's going to take that chance? I mean, look, I feel super. I feel great. I'm taking my supplements. I'm, taking my cellular immunity. So I feel great. Things have been going good, but I don't feel that super. I don't feel super enough to jump on a cruise ship. Not yet. I mean, but you know what? For you guys that, are going stir crazy and you just want to get out of the house, man, and you think it's worth a chance, there are steps you can take. I'm going to tell you something. I fully believe, and I know I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for this because I'm getting a lot of blowback here lately from my irrational exuberance. You know that's what we do here at the Silver 150 channel. We're irrationally exuberant, all right, about, circumstances and things and steps we take and all this. So I think that if you take enough liposomal vitamin C, chaga tree mushroom, and vitamin D, that you could actually get on a cruise, keep your distance, be socially distant and stuff. And I think, but as far as consuming the food and, maybe contact with some of the surfaces in the water, I think you could actually squeak through that thing and not come out with any serious symptoms of corona. I'm not saying you won't get it. I think at some point all of us are going to get it. But the thing is, what kind of symptoms are you going to be stuck with? And are you going to be asymptomatic and you have to watch out for other people? So anyway, that's something to keep in mind. I mean, for those that are really adventurous and they want to get out there and they want to go and try to cruise, I say more power to them, man. I say more power to them. All right, so we got here at least 25 Royal Canadian Mint 2016 Supermans. And if you guys remember from my past videos, the things I love about these Supermans here is that they are perfect. Okay, stop. Look at these. What do you see? I know. I see jewelry too. I know. These things are totally jewelry. These things are gorgeous. Let's get real close in on one. And look at the painstaking effort that the Royal Canadian Mint went through to make these coins. And so, you got the lines in there, security lines. If you get real close in, you can see the security lines that give that shimmer all the way around. Then, of course, the Superman emblem's always been shaped like a diamond. And then, you've got all the officialdom on it. And the only reason I pulled these out is because we're going to talk about coins today versus rounds. And, oh gosh, Silver Game of Thrones. I don't know if anybody even notice This guy pulled out like half a monster box of Royal Canadian Mint 10-ounce bars. I mean, he's just sitting there talking, and the bar did clink, 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 and they're not really clinking because they're wrapped in plastic. But oh my gosh, man, that was such a monster unboxing he did today. 230 ounces of 10-ounce bars, and he bought a bar of his own that he already had out, a older bar, Royal Canadian Mint bar. So I think it was actually half a monster box he had there on display. You know, explaining why silver is really value, and a couple of good shout outs and stuff too. I thoroughly enjoyed the show. He knows that the Royal Canadian Mint 10-ounce silver bars are my favorite. I mean, even though there are prettier bars out there and cooler bars out there, Horseman bar, Samurai bar, and the Britannia, the Royal Canadian Mint bar, it just checks all the boxes, man. It checks all the boxes. And 100-ounce Royal Canadian Mint silver bars at 4.9 fine, sovereign, serialized, they fit the bill too, and you'll save quite a bit of money on the 100-ounce bars over the 10-ounce bars. But when I bought my 10-ounce bars, I got a good deal on mine too, so it was just the same price to get 10 10-ounce bars as it was 100-ounce bar, and I didn't have anybody impressed. But I miss 100-ounce bars, and so I'm going back to them. I've got one on the way. I have no idea what it's going to look like. I ordered it from APMEX the other day. Now remember, I sold 1 ounce in fractional gold pandas. And actually, I think it was less than 1 ounce because some of those tenthers were actually 3 grammers, okay, to the broker who was glad to have them. And I was able to get the 100-ounce silver bar from APMEX and still had money left over. So tell me how, people say, well, the gold to silver ratio doesn't work on retail sense. Oh, it most certainly does, because I can tell you that I got 113 times the value, or at least 110, out of selling those doggone fractional pandas, which I still have a couple left, and getting that 100-ounce bar. So again, Silver Game of Thrones, talking about, how crazy and how out of whack the ratios are, because people simply can't understand the value of silver, how it can fit all the bills, how it can be industrial, how it can be medical, and it can be money, all right, and jewelry. I mean, it really is a Swiss Army knife of precious metal. It does it all. It does it all. So I am enamored with it. You guys know I am absolutely crazy about silver, simply, not simply because of everything it can do, but it's the value. One of my comments in Silver Game of Thrones' video today was, it's the value of silver, how undervalued it is relative to everything else. I think the only thing that actually beat it at, for a short time anyway, was oil. Because oil got down, $37 below zero. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if it happened with silver just for one day? Like it dipped for one day and it goes down like to 40 below. And, that means you make a purchase, you buy a couple 100-ounce bars, they send you the bars and a check for $2,000. I don't know. It's just ridiculous how the commodities exchange allows these derivatives to ruin the physical markets. And that's what happened in oil. It was the most extreme case of commodities exchange derivatives just running amok and ruining a physical market, a commodity like oil. Oil still has its value. Petroleum still has its value. But they have jacked that market up so bad, I don't think it's going to get anywhere to reality. By the time they actually fix what's wrong with it, we're going to be into alternative energies, and I don't think petroleum is going to matter as much anyway. All right, yammering right along, guys. Thanks for joining me today, by the way. Markets did stay relatively quiet today. I mean, the equities, they finished almost flat to up today. You can see the Fed was trying to put some money into them. And then gold and silver, I think silver actually, took a small hit. It was like down 10 cents and, to $15. And then gold was up like $9 to, $17.11 or something like that. And so it's basically a consolidation for these metals. Price-wise, they're consolidating. And they get ready to make a big move. I know I keep saying that, but I'm telling you guys, it's going to happen. And it'll probably happen 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, like with the debt clock. And nobody's going to know anything until we wake up and we go, oh my God, silver's $60 and gold's $5,000. What happened? And it'll be like, I don't know, some kind of bickering in the Strait of Hormuz or something. Okay, so I had a comment today. And I'm sorry, this is probably the purpose of the whole show. And Silver Game of Thrones, you guys, you're going to really love this. All right. So I commented on a video that was about the stimulus checks, and people were asking, how can they create all this money, or how can they create all this, all these checks and stuff? Why is it all of a sudden they can create all of the money they want right now? And I was like, because it's not about paying off anything. These guys, the banks and the governments, especially in the United States, we have the world's reserve currency. They're not planning on paying anything back. Debts and deficits and line item budgeting, and we've got to put together, but ain't no damn budget, ain't no damn paying back the debt, ain't no line item, anything. They have no interest. They are helping the dollar out the door, and they're doing it in a generous fashion. So I am not complaining, guys. Washington D.C. If you want to send checks our way, please do. Stackers know exactly what to do with a check when they get it right away. And Silver Game of Thrones again, with his the silver bars, and then Fred Garr with all of the great rounds that he had on his show and stuff. And then Florida Stacker has probably the most beautiful displays I've ever seen. And of course, the great Silver Joker has the most eclectic collection out there. If you ever want to just get into some really cool, weird, bizarre, awesome, huge, collectible coins, man, watch Silver Joker's channel. Get the message from him too. But gosh, his stack is just delicious. It really is. And so for you guys that love watching, and seeing some of this metal and stuff, I'm just redundant in mine. I have the same things over and over and stuff. But I like talking to you guys about what's going on. Okay, back to the comment that one of the commenters on a comment I made about videos about stimulus check. Okay, let me make sure I don't mess this up. So I had said, how the dollar was going to be walking out the door and it was never coming back. And this guy replies, "Hey, Silver 5150, still hoping your silver hits $50? What good is silver if the dollar collapses? You'll be trading your silver for food. It won't even last you 2 months, even if you have 2,000 ounces." End quote. Oh, Lord have mercy. Where do I start with this? First of all, I'm sorry, man. 2,000 ounces? You said 2,000. And look here, that's not to disparage you guys that just started stacking. 20 ounces is great. 200 ounces is freaking awesome. Right? And 2,000 ounces, that is a full retirement for any size family anywhere once the metal revalues. We know this. 200 ounces is pretty damn good too. All right? But don't insult the Silver 5150 family like that, talking about some 2,000 ounces. First of all, the math is way off. Guys, the math is way off. He said 2,000 ounces won't last you 2 months just getting food, okay? That shows right there the woeful, the colossal jewel of glittering ignorance that this guy is to not know that 2,000 ounces of silver, even at today's prices, is like $30,000. That's just spot, okay? In 2 months? You're gonna eat $30,000 worth of groceries in 2 months? All right, but that misses the other point. The other point is silver is not designed to be used, for direct transaction. I mean, you really could, and I've done it. I've paid for ammo with silver at the current spot prices. I've actually helped pay for part of a firearm with some. I've paid rent with it. I have bought a used car with it, in exchange. I mean, the precious metals, they're money right now. They're money right now, even in the skewed, twisted, manipulated paradigm that we're in right now. Precious metals are money, okay? We get that. So, this guy, to say what he's saying, I don't know. He's just trying to take a jab and trying to get me going and stuff. But I mean, honest to Pete, man, you have no idea what you're talking about. Now, for someone to say, first of all, he says $50. That says that he doesn't understand anything about economic energy, anything about inflation, or anything about pricing in the COMEX and commodities and derivatives. When it comes to precious metals or any commodities out there, the manipulation is epic. It is epic. I mean, if you had silver at $50 in 1980, that was 40 years ago, guys. There's nothing you can point to in the history of the world, even right now with oil around $20, that is a third of what it was 40 years ago. And silver's the only thing that is. All right? So when the revaluation starts, it's not going to be about, whether or not you can eat silver or trade it for food and like that. Silver, like gold, and other precious metals too, but mostly silver and gold, they are the perfect vehicles to transfer you from one economic paradigm to another. And whether they decide to burn the dollar to the ground and go to like the Amero crypto or Fed coin or what have you, gold and silver are still going to behave exactly the same. They're going to take your stored energy and your stored effort, okay? And they're going to transport it untouched into the new set of rules, fiat, what have you. Fiat, by the way, that's what that means. That means government, a rule saying that this is the law of the land, this is money. They could do it. They could get blades of grass. They could take oak leaves and say, hey, this is the new currency. And by gum, because it's ratified, in some document, it would be considered our currency. All right. But they're not going to do that. They're going to have something probably digital and probably something more permanent. Right. But what that means for us is that we simply start out with a really good footing because we already have the stored value ready to go. I'm telling you, man, when this silver market gets to where you can't really get anything, when I'm having trouble getting stuff and the broker's having trouble getting stuff and all that, it is going to be too late for those naysayers or anybody that wants to get in on silver at that time. Because they're going to realize that point it's a store of wealth. Now it will behave as money. I was telling G-Man today, he's like, how is that supposed to work? When they get to where they print so much money, there's nothing else to buy. What happens? Well, it's not that there's not going to be anything else to buy. The question is, will there be stuff to buy, but are merchants hiding it because they don't want any more dollars? There's been so many dollars, either through stimulus or through other means that are being thrown at goods and services that vendors don't want any more dollars for this stuff. They want something more substantial. Gersham's law. Good money follows after bad. Good money, right? Dollars, bad money, right? Because they're on the way out. Dollars weren't always bad, especially when they were backed by silver certificates, gold certificates, all that stuff. But now, they're just, Federal Reserve notes, and it's just the full faith and credit of the United States that's holding them up, and of course, a nuclear-armed military. But at the same time, that monetary system is about 70 years old. And no fiat currency system has lasted that long. We've thrown everything that we can at it to keep it going. And so it's still going. But it's on the way out. It's on the way out. When you see that the government's printing to the moon, that means that they have no other recourse but to throw cash at a problem they can't solve. And a problem they really can't solve is the insolvency of the economy. I mean, Corona's bad. Don't get me wrong. And Corona's merely an accelerator. If you ever had super glue that has like this activator, they call it, it'll freeze that super glue. It'll dry that sucker out in like 2 seconds. And whatever you got it attached to, it's done. Coronavirus is exactly that, for a solidifying economy that was solidifying into oblivion. And Corona has just perpetuated it faster to that point. So back to our commenter that says, you're going to have to, trade your silver for food. The truth is, I've actually done it, guys. I've actually gone and sold some gold in the past, some fractional gold, because, I'll tell you what happened. So I had bought, it was the gold eagles. They were from, the Nationwide. And I think Silver Game of Thrones, he knows what I'm talking about. So I got these things at Spot back when Spot was $12.50. All right. Got these things at Spot, and then later on, they went up to like $150, $160, something like that. And I recall selling 2 of them to a friend because I wanted to go to the casino for my birthday, and I wanted everybody to have tomahawk steaks at my birthday. So I did. So I sold 2 tenths of gold, got like $360 for them, and I put that together with some other money, and we did. I traded my gold for food. We all had 40-ounce tomahawk steaks and the seafood tower with the lobster tails hanging off it and all that stuff, and went out and gambled a little bit and all that. I know, see? And so I guess you can eat gold, so to speak. I'm just having fun with it. But guys, I'm telling you, the naysayers out there, they are epic. They're epic in their desire to try to derail you, try to make you feel bad about your purses. Guys, Silver 5150. Your stack is not whack. Even if your stack is only 2 coins, you are miles ahead of 99% of the population in terms of stored wealth. Okay? Real estate matters, fine art matters, jewels, all that stuff. But the only vehicle that can act as money, because it is denominational, it is weighed, it is measured, it is sovereign in some cases. It is ready to go right now. It is a store of wealth. It is insurance. It is a hedge. It is money. It can be jewelry. Look at that. Is that gorgeous or what? All right. But the thing you need to understand that is, if it's not in your possession, it's not really anything. You got to have it. You got to have it. As the days go on, guys, and as silver gets more scarce, please watch these channels out here. Please watch our channels to find out where you can get the deals, to find out, if something's worth buying. If you're at a point now where you have extra cash around, don't delay. If you have everything else covered, go ahead and buy some silver. Don't hesitate. If you have any questions, ask questions. But the bottom line is, I've already taken care of all of the scariest crap you could think of in terms of buying silver. I've done every scary thing under the sun. I know I keep repeating myself, but I'm telling you guys, it is a very, very safe, can't lose play to buy silver, whether it's rounds, whether it's coins, bars, ingots, they like to call them, all that stuff. Guys, go out and get some silver. right? And share that with me if you get some silver. I've got something coming tonight. I'm going to share it with you guys tomorrow. I told you about it. It's that Proof Panda. You wait till you see that. I've got a 100-ounce bar coming. I'm going to share that with you guys. I got some other stuff in the vault, too. I'm going to share with you guys. But if you stack today, what will you stack? If you stacked already, what did you stack? If you're going to stack tomorrow, what would you like to stack? We need to stack it all, because if the shelves aren't clear of all the silver, we lose. The banking cartel, they will still have footing in the new paradigm if we don't get all that silver off the shelves. I'm trying to get as much as I can. I'm trying to help other people get as much as they can, get as much into their coffers, vaults, homes, secured as we can. All right? That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build our own silver community, because the silver age will be us. The new economy will be us. We will call a lot of the shots. We will start a lot of the new technologies. We will be the job creators, because we will be the new wealth. This is all about moving into the new wealth cycle. All right? So move into the new wealth cycle with me. Get yourself some silver. If you can get some gold for a good price, get some gold if you like gold. I have nothing against gold. But right now, when the gold to silver ratio is 113 to 1, buy silver if you like gold, because I'm telling you, I'm going to take a lot of my silver when the gold to silver ratio shrinks down to, say, 25 to 1, and I'm going to flip it into gold. I might flip some into platinum if the ratio is right. Flip some into rhodium and back into palladium, because all those metals will be important as long as I have enough actual money to get me, going, or keep me going in a new paradigm. So I think we've said enough here. I think you guys have heard enough. Thank you so much for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, comment, if you will. And I will get back to you. I always do. And we will see you guys in the morning with a morning update. And hopefully tomorrow it'll be a really great day in the afternoon. All right. Take care.